They can leave if they want, Paul.
Okay. So, that's a pretty cool looking animation, huh? He's fun to animate. Let's just do a little hip action, and then we'll make his arm swing, and I think we'll go into some questions or some show and tell if somebody got some stuff they want to show or something. So he's going up and down, but he should also kind of, in between steps, you got to notice what's going on with your hips. Again, like what happens if your hips when you step forward? Well, the lower part of the hip, okay, it does go forward. And assuming there's part of the body that's actually going the opposite of the hip. So the hip is going into the step, the chest or the shoulders are actually going opposite. So you're going to get this crisscross action. And you add that to this thing, it really adds some life. So he's stepping. We're going to leave it straight forward in the middle. And he's going to step. Let's do this first one right here. And we are going to angle this slightly this way. Let's give it just a bit of a rotation. And his body's going to start looking kind of funny, but you work your way up the body. You know, he's going to look a little weird, but then you adjust all the way up through here, and it gives you a really nice, subtle move. And at this point, you could, let's not do that one. You can cut and paste this stuff again. So that one, you can cut that one, put it there, or go right there, or whatever. Personally, again, I like the subtlety of this movement not always being the same. So now right here, I'm just going to twist them back and forth. So he's straight, he's straight. I want to go back over here. He's straight, and he's back over here. They're relatively similar, but slightly different spots, and it just kind of adds to it. Anything to bring life to the guy. So now if you start looking at him, it's starting to get a little bit more natural. We got a little bit of a glitch going between that frame and the 100 frame and the first frame. What you can do to alleviate that is just get rid of that one, cut and paste that one back into 100, and that got rid of that little glitch there. I was a little off with that arrow. Just cut and paste that and you're fine. And then when you guys render these kind of things out, only render out 99 frames, don't render out 100. And then when you loop it, it's really smooth, because there's always going to be just a slight glitch between those two, just because of the timing of the render. So render rate 99 frames, and then loop it, and it'll look perfect. Or just take that last frame off wherever you are, because that first frame is actually the 100 frame. It's the same spot, because it acts as a hesitation. Right? 101 is the same. And you know, at this point, you can put a little of this kind of thing in there. And again, what happens? Where are your hips? A little bit. It's up a little bit. I'm assuming you're actually higher on this side, so you're going to be cocked just a little bit up towards the step. So you're going to be doing kind of that thing right there. Now the body's going to start looking a little goofy. We'll just change one bone up there and it'll kind of clean it up. So again, just going to rock them a little bit. And the more you accentuate these kind of things, the goofier they'll be. And you can see how it's easy to develop a real stylized character with the movement. Sometimes it's all on accident too. It's like you do this walk cycle and it's like, wow, he's walking really neat. You know? Somebody might say, well, you don't know how to animate, but it looks good. Up there. I'm going to do this one more time, because I know I'm not going to get it right. And we should have a pretty... He's walking kind of heavy, you know, and it's all an adjustment. We're not going to worry about that too much today, but he's got a pretty good feel. You know, and he'd probably be better off with a 20-second step.
I think
you know, it's all relative to how fast you want him walking. It's just easy doing 100 frames because it's easy to screw up. So let's clean that body up a little bit. Let's just do a little animation on this bone here. Let's just straighten them out. Keyframe. Go to 25. Straighten them out. You don't want to straighten them out perfectly either, because there's always this pass-through of movement. But you don't want them all over the damn place. They'll look really drunk unless that's what you want. That's right. Which is fine. And then I'm going to... I did something wrong with it. Oh, it is. That is. Okay, straight on the first one. And we'll keep this. And copy and paste that. Yeah, he's looking at straight. But I think you can see where I'm going with it. Now let's real quickly get this chest done, and then we'll do some arm swing, and then let's call it quits here. Again, what happens with the chest at this point? Opposite of the step. That's what's nice about adding an arrow here or something that represents this kind of thing too. You know exactly where the chest is pointed and the hips are pointed. Let's go slightly off. Maybe something like that.
This next point here.
25. You're just the opposite. Maybe a little back here. And then I'm just going to make this easy.
These right here, they're fighting each other. So you're going to have to do maybe a 75. Or over here.
And I can do the 40.
You got to take a look at it and see how here.
So we got some pretty good motion going on there. I have not dealt with the left viewport for a while, and you can see it's kind of affecting how he looks from the side. But you're getting some pretty nice fluid movements here. Some of them are pretty rough, and at this point sometimes you might, if you feel safe enough, you can go in here and start messing with some of these F curves. I wouldn't recommend it until after you work up a few animations and well, actually I would. Get in there and tweak some of that stuff around and see how it affects your animation. And I guess that's the best way to learn how to use the F curves.
So you have to control the weights.
His head looks kind of cool doing that. Normally, your head's pretty straightforward when you're walking. I might reduce that a little bit. Just by straightening him out the same way.
You don't want that, so you want Zero weights on that roll.
Let's do these front view. I am going to make it look at the camera.
Like if you go to this boat here, you see that? You see how much this boat
Actually,
this boat here.
fix this up real nice here.
This one, so pretty much what I should do is angle each one, make sure it's just kind of controlling this level. Yeah, you see that this one has no weights whatsoever. And that's the big thing, that's what's happening is, you know, and then right
Take
here,
that.
you're getting all the benefits here because
Needs a lot of tweaking, and that's stuff that you guys got to get in there and do a lot of after you get the stuff set up.
we look at this.
Might want to do a little, let's
If
do
you look
some
at
of
this
this
boat
here.
right here, you can see how it's controlled.
The hips from the left side.
Part of the problem there is that
It's got this weird.
this bone up here is just controlling this. What should they be bringing is this bone should be controlling.
I'm out of keyframe mode. This is just a permanent move here. I think he's leaning back too much, so I'm going to just bring him up like that. And that looks much better. He just looks like he's in more of a walking stance. But not good enough. We want to put a little something there. Now when he steps down, he's going to kind of go like this. I'm going to skip that first frame right now. I'm going to go back to it. And this one's keyframe already, so he's already going to be in that position. I got this room, I can go down, forward. I'm going to keyframe that. Now he's going to have a little bit of a nice little weight movement. Down, down. And again, you're going to want to do this on every step. Each one being its own movement. You can cut and paste them again, but we're building up all those little subtleties at this point. Things that make a character enduring, and that's key. And that one. And I'm actually going to steal that one and put it over here. This works in both directions here. So. Now he's got kind of a cool little tired kind of. And maybe a little hip up. So right about here, we're going to put a key. Here. 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 I know I'm probably right now, might be going a little fast for a lot of people, but you will understand this all when you start editing this guy.
And that's why we got the video on you.
That's right, I forgot. My Brenda Vaccaro voice today, yeah. A nice little head bob there. He's on a nice stroke. And replace him with this guy. You know what we got going? Yeah. He's got some weight to him, and that's what we're trying to create right now is the mass of the body, and he's not, you don't want him to float along, you want him to look like he's got some weight to him. And that's,
Coming to kick your ass.
yeah, yeah. And that's, at this point you really got to develop that base of the mood of the character at this point and get that locked down, and then it's just so much fun to start playing everything. Then we can just make those arms swing real quick, just to add to the motion, and then we'll be done here. We're going to just bring those guys down into a... Again, where are your arms? Your arms are always opposite. One leg's back, the other, that side, that arm's forward, am I correct? Yeah, you're going to walk along and go just like that. So you're opposite of your leg. So you're going to bring the gap open. And this motion adds so much to the character, just putting his arms in. And how far are they swinging? Make it nice and dopey. This one's going to be move it back a little bit, which I like right where it is. So there's your frames, your first frames, and then to 25. And we're just going to. Now we want to create an arc here, but we're not right now. We're going to. That's going to be the next step. We were just going straight forward with it. Arcs are very key. I'm sure that Brian told you the 12 steps to animation. Arcs are one of the biggest ones. Nothing moves on the body moves in a straight line ever, unless you force it to and you're doing the robot or something, or you're just really fucking serious. Good. And it's easy to overdo the arms. It's like, they don't really move that much when you're walking. Of course, this is a cartoony guy, so at this point, I can do my cut and paste. And that arm should kind of be cool. It's jacking up in the middle, but we'll fix that. That's where the arc comes in. And you can see how fast this can move along. It really doesn't take long at all to generate decent walk cycles in this arch. So I can cut and place this way too. That. Yeah, he's pretty tired or something right now. That works though. And I really do think he should go on a more of a 20 frame walk cycle or something. And then we're just going to fix up that little mess in the middle. So that's where he's braking. Go to the point where he brakes. And just hike it up enough so it's not broken. Keyframe that. And that should, he's still braking. So we're going to move that keyframe up to where it's still braking. And see how that works. And he just barely brakes that. It's almost, I think we're going to leave it. That's almost good. And we're going to do that. Let's see if we can use that same guy in the backswing. Yeah, we'll use it. I'd probably set a, we'll see. So he's not hardly snapping a little bit. That almost works like the way it is. You might want to put a keyframe in there just because you're going to want to create a bit of an arc. So we will. And we'll put this one here, and put this one there. He's breaking me right there. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to keep it. Again, he's braking. And he's still braking there, but we need that keyframe for the arc. So, just make sure. And he's braking there. Follow through that. Yeah, that works. So, copy that guy up there. Copy that guy off. Let's see what happens. It breaks. And it's probably because he's out there at least too. And he's got some of this kind of weird slumping going on, and that would be fixed by going back into these guys and straightening him out, giving him a little better movement. I don't think we have time here to really tweak this guy out, but look at that profile there. He's pretty decent. Now at this stage, you want to start thinking about follow through and overlap too. Once you get these keyframes in and stuff, keep to a minimum to get to this point, and then beyond this, it's going to they're going to start stacking up quite a bit. But what you want to happen is, to make this look really natural, is this hand is not, after the step it continues to pull forward. This is what overlap is. It's right here, and this step already starts, and this hand is still in motion in relation to that first step, and it kind of does one of these things. And that happens after that step. So this and this happens. So it's not, you have to deviate from these keyframes eventually a little bit and get this to snap back and forth. You do a lot of follow with your hands. There's a lot of follow through that comes after the fact, after the step. And that overlap is another one of those animation rules that is key to making something come to life. With that, I think that we are going to probably call it quits on this guy. Everybody comfortable with that, all that? I mean, a lot of you guys, you know, you're right on top of it. I see a lot of guys that are really on top of it. You just got to do this, rig a few characters and just do it, and repetitiveness, and you end up having fun with it, and it's easy to figure out how to make the thing move and come to life. And that's the whole thing, is to have fun with it. That's what I enjoy about it, just making something cool, making them do things that, actual movements that aren't real, and make them look believable, which is really cool for fighting sequences and stuff like that. It's nice that you just can't do, but you make it look like, oh yeah, they can do it. So, I hope you guys save this out. Take that handout. It's a real simple thing, and it's simple to understand. You will create your own rigs. You know, hopefully, when I come up to judge this next competition, I can see some of the stuff implemented.
You hear that, you guys?
And I really want to push that, because I got to be honest with you guys. The last year I came up here, this past time, I really was expecting to see a whole lot more in those portfolios that could be used in a job search. You know, something that would really catch somebody's eye or something like that. So you guys really got to spend some time on modeling and think about how a mesh forms when you rig it, and make sure you got enough points and polys in it. In today's gaming industry, you get into working with some of these bigger engines, they're pushing the poly counts way up, way up. I mean, most of our characters now, we're well over 6,000 polys per character, and we can push it up to 10,000 polys per character if we're specialized. And so there's plenty of points to put in there and make it easy on the animators to make it look good. So don't be too skittish of adding polys. Don't go too crazy, but make sure there's points in the right spot, in the elbows and knees and all that stuff, so it doesn't deform really badly and crash and stuff. So you see a lot of that happening. So, but when you guys think about your portfolios, really try to make them look good. Go out and look at other people's portfolios and copy them. You know, you see something online or something, copy it, make it look just like that, you know? Make it look really cool, and then you can tweak it to make it, you know, more your own or something like that. But find something really, really cool looking and strive for that. So when you're handing something in, especially for that competition, you know, the rest of these guys that come up from Raven and all that, they don't want to sit down and look at stuff that is not impressive. I mean, there's got to be something in every portfolio that's impressive, whether it's your drawing skills or anything like that. There's got to be one thing that you enjoy enough to push to the point where, wow, that's cool. So I hope I see some of this stuff implemented and some better model building. And you guys really got to push yourselves. It's not all up to these instructors to just do assignments and that's all you do. You got to go way, way above and beyond if you want to work in the gaming industry or in any industry. But you got to take the bull by the horns, as they say, and really go for it. You know, do your own projects, do anything you possibly can, stay up till 3 o'clock every damn night. I'm sure a lot of you guys still hard to do, but really, really put some serious effort into it, and it really pays off. So, with that, I enjoyed the time here, and if you guys have some questions, you want to show me anything, whatever it is, let me know, and I'll hang out for a little while. So, I hope this wasn't too little or too much. You know, there's a lot of levels here. It's pretty basic as far as animation goes, but it's a good place to start.
We definitely appreciate it.
I love coming up here and mentoring people and trying to get kids into the industry, because more and more studios are opening up. There's more and more opportunities. Competition is a whole lot stiffer now. There's so many people that want to get into it, and there again, that's that internal drive. And it takes talent too. And not only artistic talent, that really helps. I mean, you guys should try to be drawing a lot as much as you can. And you don't have to make beautiful things. All you have to do is get your ideas across. If you want to be a model builder, you don't have to be a real good artist, but you have to be able to make a storyboard or a sketch with arrows, and you have to be able to get your thoughts across in a real definite fashion. It's not like, well, what does this do? What does this do? I can't quite tell from this how this is supposed to work. You have to be able to have people look at that piece of paper and know exactly what that thing, or whatever it is going to do, or what it represents. So it doesn't have to be beautiful, but it has to get your idea across. So you don't have to be Picasso or Rembrandt or anybody, but you do have to have some skills, communication drawing kind of way or something like that. Those skills are important. So,
Paul, hypothetically, what do you want to see in someone's portfolio? I mean, a character model rigged out, a vehicle model rigged. I mean, what do you want to see?
It doesn't have to be a specific model sort. I mean, it depends on what you're good at. I mean, character modeling is real difficult to make a really a real cool looking character. And if you're not getting into ZBrush at this point and stuff like that, because there's guys coming out of college now that just baffle your mind what they're doing with ZBrush and all that. If you get into that kind of thing, definitely do it. You need to experiment. Right now we're using Mudbox, we're using ZBrush. Oh gosh, we're using all kinds of different programs and implementing them all. And you need to know all that stuff. And if you can model in any of those and really make some high-po models. But whatever you're modeling, it has to be strong. It really has to be thought out, and just don't do it half-assed. Just don't, here's an object, or a ball, or a character with a ball for a head, and those kind of things just are not going to pass. Those things get just tossed. If you see anything like that in a portfolio, boom, they're gone. So if it's not your strong point, don't put it in there. I guess is what I'm saying. If it's something that you think, oh God, don't put it in. But there has to be. I think what your assignment was storyboard, one model. I think there was supposed to be an animation.
Yep.
And then of course the sketchbook is good. And again, it doesn't have to be real great artwork, but it has to be something that somebody can look at and say, wow, I know what he's trying to get at here. And at least a serious effort. But the storyboard is a major one. That's the first thing I want to see, is a storyboard. And, then of course the model, and a lot of thought into the model. And I don't want to have to go, when I open up the Max file to look at it, I don't want to have to unhide anything. I don't want to have to, well, where's this, or what's this, because I had to do a lot of that. There was stuff that wasn't, even unhidden and things like that. I want to open that up, and I want to see what you want me to see. So that's a big thing. Really set it up fine, so when I open it, all I got to do is spin that thing and look at it. I don't want to have to go find it. And put it all in one big file and make sense of it. And then the sketchbook. So, I mean, what you want them to do is what they should do, and it should all be there.
We might have about 4 or 5 entries for you to judge next year.
Okay. All right.
But they should be decent.
Right. And I think that should be a criteria. If you get an assignment, you get that assignment, and there's one thing missing. All right.
That's what the industry's going to do.
That's exactly right. And if they come to you and say, hey, well, how come I didn't get judged? It's like, because you didn't have all these criteria in it. So That would be a big thing, just really put some effort into it, man. Put some real effort into it. And like I said, there's a lot of opportunities that are coming up in the near future with some companies right now. They're going to be looking for some people. So if you really buck up and do some crazy stuff, man, in the next couple of years, you might have a position somewhere. You know, so right here in Green Bay or in Madison.
Might not have to go to California for it.
No,
Yeah.
you don't want to go to California. Stay home here. Yeah. That's right.
It's
That's
gonna
what's
flip
nice about
over.
Wisconsin. It's unbelievable. It's like there's always something new happening now. The last few years, it's like, oh, there's a studio open up there. There's a studio open up there. There's a few that just opened up in Madison that I haven't even heard of yet. It's just kind of you're hearing through the grapevine when someone's doing something. So that's I guess that's it.
Anyone else got any questions, you guys?
Yeah.
What impresses you more? A simpler model like this doing like awesome stunts, like dodging, jumping over boxes, or a high poly model doing a simple walk animation? That impresses
If
you
you
more?
want to be an animator, you animate. You know, just take a character. It doesn't have to be yours. If you know somebody that builds great models and you want to ask them if you can use their model, just make sure you put that in the portfolio. I mean, you know, this is such and such model, and I animate. I would, if you're going to be an animator, I want to see. It doesn't matter how many polys, as long as it's not crashing too bad or something. Sometimes even just the bone. Because in a lot of companies, you're not going to be point weighting. You're going to have some crony point weighting it for you, and he's going to pass it off to you, and you're going to animate it, or the opposite, whatever. But I want to see a really clean animation, something real smooth and just doing what it's supposed to do. I would much rather see that. And then on the other hand, if you're a model, then I want to see the high-end model. And maybe you can pass your high-end model off to somebody who can animate it, and then you can put that in there and say, this is a model built by me, animated by so-and-so. I'm a model builder, blah, blah, blah. So, as long as you make that known to them or whatever. But stick to what you know, and that's what we want to see. I'd hate to see a decent model just jittering around. A high-end model jittering around, you might say, oh, this guy's a model builder, not an animator, but he shouldn't make it jiggle around then. He should have somebody else do it, or he should just, give it an idle. Give it an idle animation, which is fine. That's great for, modelers. That's how they just gotta give it a good something, just to make it look alive. So you might want to start messing around with morphing, stuff like that. We're starting to implement some of those. There's tools that we can get morphs into the engines now, facial morphs and things like that too. It's kind of fun. Especially for an animator, definitely work with morphs.
Thank you.
So, any others? I wish you guys all luck, man. I can't wait to come up and do another judging and see what you guys come up with.